Hello children, in this video I am going to explain you chapter 9 of your book It So Happened. The title of this chapter is The Comet. In this video we will do first part of this chapter. The Comet-1 tells us a story about Dattada, who is an astronomer who can't stay away from his 8-inch long telescope. Divya, who helped him accomplish his secret ambition of discovering a comet. Once Comet Datta is discovered, a few calculations by professional astronomers and scientists show that the comet will collide with the Earth, resulting in the end of life on the planet. Thus, they plan to call an international conference to resolve the matter. So, let's begin this chapter. That particular day in December, when the night lacked the light of the moon, a wave of cool breeze coming from the window interrupted the sleep of Indrani Devi. In a semi-conscious state of sleep, she checked the pillow beside her, even though she was well aware that her husband, Dattada, was not in bed. She whispered to herself in an annoyed tone and said that her husband must have probably gone to spend time with Divya. She felt that the least he could have done was to shut the door when he left. Even as she expressed anger or annoyance, she couldn't suppress the smile that came on her face. She was well aware that her husband was completely unmindful to the practical needs of the surroundings and the climate. Even his doctor had told him to take all the measures to safeguard himself in the cold weather. But Dattada, oblivious as he was, forgot to put on his sweater even if it was lying on the chair next to their bed. She wondered what magic spell had Divya cast on her husband. Thus, she wrapped herself in a shawl, took the white woolen pullover, and walked towards the roof to disturb him in his private meeting with Divya. On the roof, she saw both of them looking into each other's eyes specially and more keenly. Dattada, Divya Chakshu, was the name of Dattada's telescope. It meant divine eye, and he was delighted to call it that. On the other hand, Indra Devi thought of the telescope as a calculative and cunning woman who had trapped her husband. So, she preferred calling it Divya only, and the telescope continued to be called Divya. It was an achievement for Dattada to have bought the telescope, as it marked the accomplishment of a lifelong aspiration. He was an amateur astronomer, thus all his life he had earned for enough money to be able to buy a quality telescope and sufficient time to use it to observe the skies, which he considered heaven. He was gifted with both time and money upon retiring. Thus, he got the telescope properly installed and spent the dark nights in stargazing. The nights felt quite long, at least to Indrani Devi. Indrani Devi gave Dattada his pullover and told him to wear it unless he wanted the doctor Naveen Babu to advise him bed rest for the next day. Dattada always secretly admired to discover a new comet someday, just like all the astronomers. New comets can easily be found because they come from the distant parts of the solar system. Comets also revolve around the Sun, but unlike planets, their orbits are unusual. When a comet comes too near to the Sun, it can be seen with a tail like structure gaining its light from the Sun until it goes back into the darkness for years or for centuries till it can be seen again. Now, the possibility of finding a comet using an 8-inch telescope is quite questionable when professional astronomers have huge telescopes. But Dattada was hopeful and positive about finding one, as he was well aware that professional astronomers have their hands full with the already ongoing assignments that might involve discovering unclear stars or studying distant galaxies. So, they were much more likely to miss an unimportant comet when they were anyway not searching for one. Besides, astronomers have found new comets previously that have been missed by the eyes of professional ones. Dattada was positive about that particular night being the special night where he would discover one such comet. This was because he had noticed a faint newcomer amidst the old stars. He had rechecked all the charts, cleared Dibya thoroughly so as to ensure proper clarity and remove any spots that were there on its lenses, and did necessary calculations using his pocket calculator. Although he was oblivious about basic things and routine course, he was quite careful and precise with his calculations. He was positive that he had made no mistake. Whatever he was seeing had not been seen earlier, and it looked quite like a comet. Thus, after 2 days, news came out in the Bengali newspaper named Anand Bazar Patrika with the headline, Calcutta Man Discovers New Comet. The piece of news was written by one of their special correspondents who highlighted that Dattada or Sri Manoj Dutt, who lives in Calcutta, has discovered a new comet. It has been further written that he had been seeing the comet since last 2 nights and had reported the same to Indian Institute of Astrophysics in Bangalore, who has a 90-inch telescope at Kavalur, known to be the longest in Asia. The newspaper piece says that it would be the highest peak of his career as an astronomer if the presence of the comet is confirmed by IIA. According to Dattada, as he is called by his closed ones, the comet can be seen by the naked eye in about a few months. Dattada holds his 8-inch long telescope named Dibya as the one responsible for finding the comet. In the following week, its presence was confirmed by the IIA and shared with the world. As per the long accepted practice of naming the new comet after its founder, it was called Comet Datta. All of this brought a lot of unwanted attention towards Dattada, who was an introvert and did not really like to be in the limelight. He was invited to a lot of receptions, functions, and celebrations. Upon coming back from one such event, Dattada whispered to himself about wanting to not have discovered the comet at all in the first place. This was because he did not like the attention he was receiving. Indrani Devi also wished the same, to Dattada's astonishment, but due to some other reason. Upon being asked by Dattada, she told him that comets bring ill luck, and she wished that a nice man like Dattada was not linked in any way with its discovery. She was concerned about him, but her answer made her husband laugh. He remarked that even a master's degree could not change the way she thought about superstitions. He explained it to her logically that there is no mutual connection between the appearance of a comet and any disaster that happens on the earth. He further told her that comets have rather been examined scientifically and efforts have been made in understanding their composition. He assured her that they are not dangerous. In fact, he told her to see it for herself pretty soon, how it passes without causing any harm to anybody or making anyone fearful. However, Datta was going to be proved quite wrong. So this was the first part of this chapter. Second part we will do afterwards.